Hello again, folks. Just whilst we're still together, we've sort of trialled a new thing, and someone both dear to Sinclair and myself is John Hugh McLeod,
John was on the podcast last season.
correct? So if you want to go watch that episode, you can hear from the man himself. But here you can see he is thrown on a lovely concrete pad, and he sent in a video just for a wee bit of critique. This is something we're going to sort of trial and see if this is something folks want. And obviously, John's got some thick skin, so he's sent his video in. We'll play it through a few times at just normal speed, let you see what we're sort of working with. John, I would say, is pretty consistent with his putt. Doesn't really vary too much. Bye.
John's. I've seen John putt about 48 foot with a stone, and he's good with a heavy putt as well. He's always got a strong heavy putt. Tends to putt around mid 40s now, which again is is a decent throw. I think first thing he's obviously taken a modified South African stance. Often in the Highland Games, you see a fully front on. John's kind of going for the side on, with the left foot facing into the trig. So we'll watch it through and then give some feedback.
Yeah, as you can see, he's definitely taken a leaf out of the Sinclair Patience playbook with his foot sitting kind of tickling the line, but that's okay, we'll look past that. So I think we'll play it through maybe once or twice on full speed, and then we'll sort of slow it down and break it down a bit. It's also worth mentioning, I am not a rotational shot putter. So again, there's ones through it. We'll go back to about here because the video's been a bit funny. So again, I would say he's pretty. I mean, the direction of the putt's kind of down the middle, which is what you're kind of wanting. I'll pop the speed down a wee bit. We'll go 0.25.
Yeah.
Sinclair, I don't know if there's anything you can see straight away. You're a spinner man.
Yeah, and by no means the best, but I think first things first, and I'm probably guilty as well, John. Look at your right foot in the middle. So we talk a lot about getting the hip into the throw. If you watch your right foot, it's pointing at us as we're sitting on camera. So your right foot's not turning in the middle. So a good drive there, but look at your right foot. You only turn your right foot on release. So I think if you can straight away get that right foot turning, you're going to find that you'll get your right hip into the throw and therefore generate a lot more power.
So just that right foot there's a passenger and it's sort of facing 6 o'clock rather than... I mean, that's where he should be landing, right? About there.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
pushing off it.
there's different sort of terminology that can be used, but the easiest one is just turn the right foot. You could actually even land with it a bit further turn. So again, if you play it through, Kyle, good
What
drive
speed do
out
you
the
want
back.
here?
I think just play it at 0.25 or something.
Just 0.5 for you.
Yeah, good. So good drive out of the back. The right foot lands and doesn't really keep turning. So that would be my first kind of work on, I would say. The second one that I see almost immediately is you start with a good high elbow, but then at release you kind of drop your right elbow there.
It's down below.
Yeah, it drops low. It's then more difficult to lift out of the throw, I would say. Like if you're going to punch someone as hard as you can, you want a high elbow rather than a low elbow.
Through experience, of course.
Not at all.
But yeah, I would say overall there's a good base here to work on. Again, I'm not a spinner myself. My criticism, and again, I don't know if this is the correct term, and I think I've actually said this to John in person before, but we're talking about this right foot. The cue I would think of is, see the second that comes off the ground, it's pre-turned and it stays there. So you're cocking that foot round in itself, so the second you land, it's already in the right position. So I guess I'm saying the same thing as you, but in a different way. So I guess my remedy for that, I mean, I only rotated for one season, but my right foot, all I could think about was pre-cocking it, so it was turning round before I landed. That would be my takeaway here. And the elbow is something I sometimes struggle with, especially with a putt.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with Sinclair there.
It's pretty solid though. And on a whole lot, in case anyone mentions, this is my training field, and the lines of the trig are painted like to the inner lines of the... Well, that's basically the lines that would come from the straight of the trig. So it's not a foul.
It's not a foul. There you go. You've heard it from the man himself. But yeah, folks, again, this is a bit of a trial. John has been stunning and brave and sending this into us as like a put one out there. If this is something you'd like to do, send us the video and it's something we can look into doing in the future. Danke schön.